Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more of my Enigmatica 2 expert playthrough for Minecraft 1.12.2. And as always, we have our lovely avatar Zombie Steve here. And we are pushing forward into the higher tech mods. So last time we opened the Applied Energetic gates and actually got our ME controller. I was taking a look at all the stuff we need. We need lots of stuff. Lots of crystal, lots of iron, lots of stuff. So the other thing I'm worried about is as we're moving up into these higher tier tech mods, is that I'm not sure how much longer my sort of mid level or early power generation system is going to work here. It's doing good on the single machines, but I'm not sure how it's going to work on as we start getting into more complex machines. So we want to be keeping an eye on that. And so one of the things that I was looking at when I was trying to decide exactly how to tackle this problem is we didn't have RF tools or thermal expansion open. And our thermal expansion definitely has some machines that I think will help us out. More of the same, but some of them have a little better and more advantageous recipes than some of the other stuff we could use. So I really wanted to get thermal expansion open, and I was looking at it here. If we get RF tools open, we get to choose a power cell, energy cell, or advanced energy cube. I got one of these as a reward, and I really loved it when I was doing my trial runs through this before I decided to start over and do a series. So the thermal expansion energy cell, I just thought it was pretty great. I love the fact that you can put a holding enchantment on it. I thought the interface was great, the GUI for it. It holds so much energy, so I really want to get some of those. I really want to have about 4 or 5 of those, and we can pick up a free one for getting RF tools done. So I went ahead and made the machine frame. So this is what we needed the pink slime for our cattle ranch, if you've been following along. So we had the pink slime. So the rest of the stuff was pretty easy to make. It just took time and a lot of iron to get through these heat vents. So I'm going to need more iron pretty soon. So we made some machine frames. I doubled it up. We now have 4 machine frames. And we're going to go ahead and take this energy cell bad boy and claim that. And now another reason I'm picking the energy cell as opposed to one of those other options is the next thing we can do is we can now open up thermal expansion. And one of the things you can get from there, you do get, it's not even a choice reward, you do get a signalum, however you want to say that, upgrade kit. So that can upgrade our basic, we'll upgrade the basic to reinforced and then the reinforced to, I think, signalum. And that will greatly reproduce or greatly ramp up how much power that that energy cell we just got as a reward will handle. And when we put holding 4 on it, it'll hold probably hundreds of millions of RF, and that's going to be a nice buffer for our system. So I want to make sure that regardless of my power situation, whether I'm just sort of passively, I can probably survive on this and these guys for a while longer. So this is my immersive engineering thermoelectric generators with hot blocks of uranium on one side and cold packed ice on the other side. And this is the plutonium RTG that we made with fuel from a dragon horde. So the 2 of those, and I might make some, mechanism windmills to power up that bad boy. But we can feed all the power into that signalum holding 4 energy cell and then have a huge buffer and be able to keep an eye on our power supply so that we don't do anything weird like lose power to our applied energistics inventory system and not be able to access any of our stuff. I've only really started applied energistics once in the trial run before this series, but I could see where losing power would be quite the disaster. The other thing is, so yeah, that's it. We got the RF tools gate open. Now we're going to push on towards the thermal expansion. Thermal expansion? Yes, thermal expansion gate. I haven't played too much with thermal expansion, but it looks like it's got some good stuff in it. This is RF tool stuff, but if we look at thermal expansion, we can get a pulverizer. So we have a lot of ways to crush things now, but in general, the pulverizer is one of the best. It'll give you a little bit up there with the Ender IO sag mill, depending on what you're looking for. So there are going to be a few recipes as we push into applied energistics and these higher level ones where we are going to get a slight benefit from the pulverizer, and I'll take it. So we want one of those. I haven't really played with their dynamos, but I think these dynamos tend to be pretty good, so we want to try some of those out. Definitely want to make some more of the energy cells. So we will start out with a free one of them, and then we will upgrade it to hardened and reinforced, and then we'll get a free upgrade to signalum. So that bad boy is going to be huge by the time we get all that holding 4 on it and stuff. So to make our gating item for thermal expansion, which is the machine frames, and we're going to want to make multiples of these, like at least 6, preferably 8. 8 of those bad boys. We're going to have to make a bunch of other stuff. So this is going to take a bit of time because each one of these requires the basic building block of 4 other mods. And on top of that, we got to have some actually addition stuff on there. And we still haven't really pushed too far into actually additions, but we're going to have to start doing that. So we're going to need to, one of the first things we're going to need to do here is actually go back and finally get around to making an atomic reconstructor for actually additions. We've sort of been ignoring actually additions because there wasn't anything we desperately needed. So yeah, we haven't pushed too far into it, but we're definitely going to need an atomic reconstructor. And there are a few recipes where the actually additions crusher, I think, is your best bet for crushing. The empowerer, we're going to need the empowerer to get into like Ender IO and some of the other stuff, so we'll need to start working towards that as well. And we'll probably need a bunch more power to get that to work. So yeah, there's stuff here we need and want. So that's what I'll do this episode is we'll push into the atomic reconstructor. I think I have everything I need to make this, so we'll bash that up. We'll set it up somewhere. We'll make some Inori crystals, and we'll see how far we can get towards opening up thermal expansion. So I'm going to round some stuff up, get to crafting, and I will be right back after a jump cut. And then back. So I made the atomic reconstructor. I forgot that, so when you set it down, it's pointed straight at you. So that's a good thing to know. But I also forgot that it starts out in constant mode. So I set it down. It started sucking power out of the MV capacitor, and then it shot me with its laser and scared the crap out of poor zombie Steve. I laughed at Steve, but no, seriously, I jumped. But anyway, so we put a redstone torch in our hand, and we pushed it to pulse, and put a button above it, and we're good to go. I think I already had from a chest a couple of Inori crystals, so we're just going to throw out 2 more iron. Oops. Make a couple more. I think that's all I needed for right now. So I'm going to get back to crafting. I just wanted to show you that, and but I also wanted to show you. So I was going through. What else did I do? I went ahead and put holding 4 enchanted our new energy cell that we got as a reward for opening RF tools. I enchanted it with holding 4 So it's now up to, just at basic mode, is up to 30 million. And I've just got it sitting up there sucking up some charge so that it'll be ready to go for us. I also went over and checked on our cows, and there was some sort of kerfuffle with our liquid storage. So like both barrels were meat, and the pink slime was all backed up. So that was a bit of a mess. But I sort of sucked everything out of the barrels and got it all straightened out again. I think I may have accidentally emptied the pink slime bucket while I was hunting pink slimes, and it got preempted by a second round of liquid meat. But anyway, that's all back together again. And when I was looking at things that I wanted to either make or get done, let's see, we had the Atomic Reconstructor, or I just made that. And we already had some of these, so that clicked up easily. And we made a couple of more for good measure. So that's a couple boxes for us. But I also noticed while I was digging around in my chests that it would probably be good to go ahead and cross some of this immersive engineering stuff off the list. So I had these around, and I had plenty of steel, and I just sort of wanted to get this out of the way. I already had this made, I already had that made. So by doing this, which was both the reinforced bricks, 27 of them, and a couple of blast furnace preheaters, by doing that one, I also generated this while making the heaters, and I already had some of these that we had made for other stuff. I already had some of these that we had made for other stuff. I made some of this real quick because I had all the materials for it. So I just sort of went on a tear and got us, let's see how many, got us, oh, and I threw some across the room. I hate it when I do that. Let's get some of this out of the way here. So I got us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loot crates to open. So that's sort of a bonanza. So I wanted to just open that with you guys. Podzol, don't need that. Redwood, I'm near a redwood forest that has all of that I could ever need. Light gray concrete powder, I think I already have some of that. Now I got more. Maybe I need that in something like nuclear craft or something. I think I already have some of those, so I probably didn't need that, but okay. A floodlight from Immersive Engineering. I might have to check that out and see if I like the looks of it. An experience pylon. Collect nearby experience orbs, then release or bottle them later. That sounds pretty cool. I might have to put out that out by the cow farm or something. Let's see. A brewing stand. That's cool. I haven't bothered to make one of those yet, so I'll take that. A precision sawmill. I already have one of those, so that's a duplicate, but okay. Alright, so nothing monumental and earth-shaking there, but it's good to get things crossed off the list. I am going to eventually go for unlocking everything. So, even some of the stuff that I don't know I'll ever use, like now that I can make steel through either industrial craft or mechanism, I don't know if I will ever set up the improved blast furnace and preheaters. I'm not sure. Maybe those are incorporated into the arc furnace. I probably will set up an arc furnace at some time, because I think you can do some armor recycling in there. So maybe we'll get to use it there. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't looked at it yet because I don't have so much armor that I'm worried about it quite yet, but I will as soon as I start my mob farm. So that brings us back around to sort of where we were really going, which is, let's see, we want to unlock thermal expansion. That'll give us a Signalum upgrade kit, which I'm looking forward to, and open up some other machines that I'm interested in that I think one or two of them, like the pulverizer, might help me with my applied energistics thing, which is sort of the next major project. So we need to make machine frames. So one of the reasons I went ahead and did the immersive engineering stuff was I don't remember how many of these I have left, but I wanted to make sure and get credit for them before I use them up. But let's see what all of that we have. Let me throw more of this in my backpack. Okay. So hopefully we have most of that stuff. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Yeah, we only had one heavy engineering block, so I wanted to get credit for that in immersive engineering before I used it up for the what we're making here. I think a machine case. Forget all what we need. Let's take a look. We're making a machine frame. And the problem is it won't show me what's in my box. So we need the machine case from Tesla, the iron casing from Actually Editions, and the RF tools. Machine frame. Iron casing from Actually Editions. Machine case from Tesla whatevers. And the machine frame from RF tools. And we need these two other Inori crystals to go with the two I just made. Ay caramba. Expensive little buggers. Oh, and we need a device frame. Ew. If I recall correctly, that might be intensive. Let's see, we need any block glass and 4 tin ingots and a copper gear. Oh, that's easy peasy. So I'll make that real quick. Assuming I have copper. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll grab our gear mold. Slap that in there. Takes 4 bars to make a gear. Make sure I put my plate back so I don't screw up and think I'm making plates and make more gears. Tin ingots. Bada bing. Alright, I think we got everything we need. And that was in what, the thermionic that we need to make this? Yes. And so we're going to need liquid glass. I wonder if it'll let me use stained glass in there. I'm going to try. I picked up stained glass in some village. I stole some of their glass, and sometimes I can use it for glass recipes, and sometimes I can't. It would be nice to actually use it up. So I'll left click out the last recipe. Got to click in the new one. Not sure I got that in the right spots. I'm not sure it matters. It doesn't seem to like that one. Maybe it'll show it to me here. There it was. Okay, so now all it's missing is the liquid, which we're going to try and give it glass to see if it'll do that. It will not take the stained glass. So we're going to go ahead and just, I don't know how much it needs. Still haven't quite figured out, It's already got 2.5 buckets in it. How many buckets is one thing? Okay, so one sand is 1 bucket, and it is asking for more, I guess. Yep, there we go. Alrighty. Thermal expansion is open. And I want all of this, and I get all of this. Nice. Ooh, and environmental tech is open now too. I got that litherite crystal out of that dragon that killed us while I was stealing his plutonium-238. So that was another little bonus from him. I'm going to read up on this stuff before I choose, though. I think I'm a ways away from wanting or needing to do anything in environmental tech, so I'm going to read up on our possible rewards before I pick a reward. One thing I am going to do is now, you can't apply a Signalum upgrade straight to a basic, so I need to look at what our upgrades do. So if we go at thermal E, and if we look for, if they don't show up. Alrighty then. So if I go, I think the next one up is hardened. There it is. So I want one of those. 4 Invar nuggets and a bronze gear. I can do that. I accidentally made some Invar when I was trying to make some Constantan. Not the first time I've done that either. And a bronze gear. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a couple of redstone. And now this bad boy should be able to take this from, we're currently at, they need to start putting some commas in there. It looks like 30 million. Boom. Now we're at 120 million. And I can't do Signalum yet because I got to go up to the next one, which is, let's see, maybe if I just search for upgrade kit, it will show them all to me. Alright, so hardened, reinforced, Signalum. So we need to make a reinforced one. That's going to be silver gear and 4 electrum and hardened Invar glass. Any glass hardened. Okay, so this one might take a moment. I don't remember if I have that stuff. I think I used up the last of my electrum. I don't think I have any silver poured out. But you guys are probably bored with that, so I showed you basically what I want to do. So what I'll do between now and the next episode is I'll go ahead and I made the hardened. I'm gonna make the reinforced, and then I'm gonna use this free Signalum one that we got, and that'll probably put it up into like hundreds and hundreds of millions with holding 4 on it. So we're at 120 million now. And it's just ticking along up next to our plutonium-238 RTG there. So that's going to be a beautiful little buffer of power when we start needing it. And I'm going to make probably more of those. I want to get into applied energistics and get my stuff onto disks, get all my inventory onto disks. But I also got to make sure I got plenty of power and plenty of buffer and etc. to actually do something with that. So now that we've made some energy cells, we can actually, or some machine frames, we can actually make some more of these bad boys. So I'm going to make some more of these bad boys and get holding 4 enchantment on them, and probably take them up to at least, I think the signalum one is a little bit more expensive to make. Let's see, what is that? Yeah, signalum ingot, I don't have that. And cryothium, I don't have that. So I'm probably going to make, between this episode and next, I'm probably going to make 3 or 4 more of these energy cells, and then take them through hardened to reinforced or whatever, up through the electrum one, and get holding 4 on all of them. And then to power them up, I might set up a bunch of mechanism windmills upstairs just to get those all topped off and filled up, because we're going to need that when we start getting, we're going to need a big buffer of power when we start getting into the empowerer. So I think to open Ender IO, which I would love to do, you have to do this, and to do this, the hardened cell frame has to come through the empowerer, I think, or whatever this is. I don't think I can do this. I can make an empowerer, but the empowerer takes a crap load of energy. So what I'll do is I'll get some mechanism windmills going. I'll get at least 4 of these bad boys hooked up there and charged up, and then we'll slap them down at the 4 cardinal points of the empowerer to make sure we have plenty of power to use it when we need it. Anyway, that is about it, I think, for this episode. We opened a bunch of loot crates, several loot crates. We got some immersive engineering done. We got some actually addition done. So yeah, we got thermal expansion opened. Ooh, we can do this. Doink. And claim those rewards, whatever those are. And we can complete that because we just made a hardened upgrade kit. We can do that because we already had one from a reward. Igneous extruder. Trying to think, I think the ones that I really wanted here, well, I got to get a pulverizer. So a pulverizer and an induction smelter. I want to get those going. And a magma crucible also. Not sure I want to make all the stuff in between, but magma crucible, an induction smelter, and a pulverizer, those are all things I want to make. And I'm throwing the loot bags across the room again. Ooh, and I'll get to play with the compression dynamo. So we'll open this bad boy up. Ooh, a Manasseh monocle. And that's an opening for us, because I have not made one yet. So throw that across the room. See if we can put that on here somewhere. There it is. Nice. Alright, so we got that on now. Don't want to do that yet until I research it, but I do want to collect this bad boy. Sausage and bread. More food. I really need to go on a vein mining binge just to use up all the tons of food I have. I guess I could make one of those culinary furnace generators or whatever, where you put food in it to get power, because I have so much food. Alright, now I'm calling it for reals. I will talk to you again soon. Yeah, things are coming along. Pretty happy with the amount of gates we've got open. We're getting there. Ender IO is another big one for me because I have used that and like it. But yeah, we're getting there. So I will talk to you next time. Bye.